Hollywood is often described as a kingdom, a place where stars shine brighter than anywhere else on Earth, but only a few ever wear the crown. For decades, the film industry has produced thousands of actors, but among them stand four giants who changed not just movies, but the very idea of stardom. They are the faces we see on billboards, the names that fill cinema halls, and the legends whose stories are bigger than life itself. Tom Cruise, Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, and Will Smith. Each one carved a path so unique that together they represent four different versions of what it means to be a Hollywood king. Action, art, charm, and resilience. Their journeys carry it all. This isn't just a story of movies. It's the story of icons who defined generations. When you think of Hollywood action, one name immediately comes to mind. Tom Cruise. From the fighter jet cockpits of Top Gun to the impossible missions of Ethan Hunt, Cruise built his empire not on ordinary roles, but on redefining what a movie star could be. His obsession with performing death-defying stunts himself turned every film into an event. And audiences didn't just watch his movies, they experienced them. Hanging off cliffs, flying planes, sprinting across rooftops. Tom Cruise became the ultimate daredevil of cinema. But his story is not just about adrenaline and box office numbers. It's also about longevity. For over 40 years, he has ruled the screen, refusing to let age slow him down. Of course, Cruise has also lived under the shadow of controversies, from his ties to Scientology to his turbulent marriages. But none of that ever erased his impact as a performer. Even critics who doubt his personal choices admit one truth. When the theater lights go down and Tom Cruise appears on screen, the audience knows they're in safe hands. He represents the undying flame of the classic movie star, a symbol of risk, spectacle, and sheer determination. And that's why, in Hollywood's kingdom, he will always be remembered as the king of action. For Leonardo DiCaprio, the crown was never handed to him. He fought for it, role by role. After Titanic, he could have remained the eternal heartthrob, forever remembered as Jack Dawson, the boy who refused to let go. But DiCaprio had different ambitions. He turned his back on easy fame and chased the kind of roles that demanded depth, pain, and transformation. Whether it was the twisted corridors of Shutter Island, the ruthless energy of The Wolf of Wall Street, or the raw survival story of The Revenant, DiCaprio poured his soul into every character. His performances weren't just watched, they were studied, debated, and celebrated. Winning an Oscar was a milestone, but in truth, his legacy was already secure long before that golden statue. Off-screen, DiCaprio became a voice for the planet, using his fame to campaign for climate change and environmental justice. Unlike many stars, his influence doesn't stop at Hollywood. It stretches into politics, activism, and the global stage. That's what makes DiCaprio a different kind of king. Not just the artist who elevated cinema, but the activist who reminded the world that fame can be used for something greater. He is the crown prince who became king by refusing to take the easy road, and instead choosing the path of meaning.
Brad Pitt's story is one of transformation. When he first appeared in Thelma and Louise as a charming drifter, the world saw him as nothing more than Hollywood's golden boy, a pretty face destined for stardom. But Pitt refused to be boxed in. Over the decades, he built a career that balanced blockbuster hits with artistic risks. Fight Club made him a cult icon. Troy showed his ability to lead epic dramas, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood finally crowned him with an Academy Award. Yet, what sets Pitt apart is not just his acting, but his vision as a producer. Through Plan B Entertainment, he championed powerful films like 12 Years a Slave and Moonlight, proving that he wasn't just interested in his own spotlight. He wanted to shape the future of storytelling itself. Of course, Brad Pitt's personal life has been a constant subject for tabloids, from his marriages to Jennifer Aniston and Angelina Jolie to his high-profile divorce and custody battles. But despite the chaos off-screen, Pitt's on-screen legacy never dimmed. He managed to evolve from Hollywood's poster boy to one of its most respected craftsmen. Brad Pitt is not the king because of his beauty or charm, though those helped, but because he proved that reinvention is the true mark of longevity. He is Hollywood's shapeshifter, a king who refused to be just one thing, and in that refusal became everything. Will Smith's crown is perhaps the most unique of them all, forged not in the fires of Hollywood, but in the rhythm of hip-hop beats and the playful rhymes of his early rap career. Long before he became one of the most bankable movie stars on earth, Smith was the Fresh Prince, a young rapper from West Philadelphia who made history by winning the first ever Grammy awarded in the rap category. With a stage name that carried swagger and humor, he proved he could connect with audiences through charm and wit, setting himself apart in a genre often dominated by grit and intensity. What makes his story so remarkable is the way he leapt across mediums, each time reinventing himself without losing the charisma that made him shine in the first place. The turning point came with The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The show wasn't just another sitcom. It became a cultural phenomenon that redefined television in the 1990s. It was funny, heartfelt, and bold in its exploration of race, class, and identity, and Smith was at the center of it all. For millions of viewers, he wasn't just playing a character. He was introducing the world to his larger-than-life personality, one that felt authentic and electric. By the time the series ended, Smith had achieved what most TV stars could only dream of. He had outgrown the role and set his sights on Hollywood's biggest stage. From there, his career took on a cinematic quality of its own. Few actors in history have managed to dominate box offices across multiple decades the way Will Smith has. With Independence Day, he became the face of global blockbusters. Men in Black cemented him as the perfect blend of comedy and action, while Bad Boys gave him a franchise that audiences couldn't get enough of. When he stepped into Muhammad Ali's shoes in Ali, delivering one of the most powerful performances of his career, he proved he wasn't just an entertainer, but a true actor capable of carrying stories of historical and emotional weight. Every era of his career has a defining film, and each added to his growing legend. Yet, unlike the fairy tale careers we often imagine for Hollywood royalty, Smith's reign has never been without turbulence. The 2022 Oscars incident, when he struck comedian Chris Rock on live television, instantly became one of the most shocking and controversial moments in modern entertainment history. Overnight, his carefully built image seemed to fracture. For some, the moment tarnished his legacy. For others, it revealed something raw, vulnerable, and painfully human beneath the polished surface of a superstar. It was a reminder that even kings of Hollywood are not immune to pressure, mistakes, and the weight of expectation. And yet, through the storm, Will Smith's resilience continues to define him. He is a man who has climbed mountains, stumbled in front of the world, and still found the strength to rise again. His career has taught us that greatness is not about being flawless. It is about persistence, reinvention, and the courage to keep going even when the crown feels heavy. More than a musician, more than an actor, Will Smith represents an idea that true greatness is messy, complicated, and deeply human. That is why, in Hollywood's grand kingdom, his crown may be dented, but it will never be taken away. When you put these four men together, you don't just see actors. You see the blueprint of Hollywood itself. Tom Cruise, the daredevil. Leonardo DiCaprio, the artist. Brad Pitt, the shapeshifter. Will Smith, the all-around entertainer. For different crowns, one kingdom. In the oversimplified history of cinema, these are the kings who carried Hollywood on their shoulders, inspiring generations to dream bigger, act bolder, and chase the impossible. And that's why their legacies will echo long after the credits roll.